In 2024 alone, 81% of Canadian SMEs they are prioritizing advanced tech that focuses on telecom and cloud solutions.
So one of the biggest challenges is actually quite surprising. It's the consumer shooting themselves in the foot.
Listeners, remember that technology isn't just an upgrade, it's the key to staying competitive, so embrace innovation.
Small business and entrepreneurs are not looking like, I don't want to get rid of a single employee in my company with AI.
Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Today we're diving into the tech trends shaping small businesses in Canada from AI to advanced telecom solutions. Our guest today is John Meloche, the CEO of Melo Technology, bringing years of expertise in leveraging tech to optimize operations and customer experience. Hi, John. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, John. There's lots to uncover and unfold, but we'll begin by discussing the emerging tech trends because technology is constantly evolving, impacting Canadian businesses. So let's dive into the key trends that are shaping business operations. So, John, how has Melo Technology adapted to these changes, and what trends do you believe are shaping the future?
Wow, we have definitely adapted. We've been adapting on behalf of our customers, quite frankly, because, with the adoption of AI and automation, our typical customer is that of an entrepreneur, a small business, or a mid-sized business that is up and coming, that don't necessarily have the tech resources to invest into understanding a lot of this tech. So they're leveraging companies like us that have been, a little bit further on the front edge of the sword to make it an easier transition for them to get involved in newer technologies as well.
Well, that's great insight, John. I mean, staying adaptable is clearly the key. But if you were to build onto this a bit better, can you share a specific example of how these trends have impacted one of your clients?
Yeah, well, it's definitely impacted several clients, not specifically one, but to give a specific example, I work in the payment, work with a number of people in the payment processing industry, and they work in call centers.
Mhm.
And with call centers, everything is at scale. Employees are at scale, HR is at scale, payroll's at scale as well. And that's where technology can have the biggest impacts, where there's scale. It can also have impacts for small businesses, but the specific example of the biggest impact that I think that we've made so far is by achieving automation, which would have typically, taken several people to achieve specific tasks and workflows. We've now achieved, zero wait time, full automation and accuracy.
Mhm.
So bringing these type of features and functions, have typically seemed unattainable for small business, but now with, minimal expertise and a bit of guidance and some consultation, they can achieve, some really incredible things.
That's amazing. No, it's really insightful to learn that. And as tech evolves, I mean, staying ahead is the game changing aspect of it. Listeners, remember that technology isn't just an upgrade, it's the key to staying competitive. So embrace innovation. Now, up next, let's explore AI's role in customer service because AI transforms the customer experience, allowing companies to manage the demand efficiently. And it's a buzzword; it's everywhere. So, John, can you share how conversational AI has improved customer interactions at Melo Technology and which industries see the most impact?
Right, definitely. Well, AI is being adopted everywhere. People are hearing about it. Not everybody knows what it is. I know firsthand, not everybody knows what it is because they
Right.
call me asking what it is. And we're taking the approach to help small businesses adapt to AI in a very incremental way by finding out where some very small opportunities are with their business and sort of exploiting those as opportunities to get their feet wet so that they understand it. Right now, there's a major education problem in
Mhm.
every industry. A lot of people fear it in their industry. They think, how is this going to impact me? Is it going to be rewarding? Is it going to help my industry or hurt it? So one of the most interesting things about how people are adopting specifically conversational AI is the low-hanging fruit, as I call it, the
Mhm.
simplest ways to get involved in the technology. And that's the really the exciting part about it because it's so obtainable.
Mhm.
So one simple way is like a 24-hour answering service,
Right.
whereas otherwise you have to outsource to a third party company and pay them on a retainer and train them on your business and worry about their turnover and if they answer 24 hours a day and how long it takes to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with an AI, it can be there to answer any call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It can spawn itself to be one person or 20 people. So if you have high call volume at a particular time, it's going to handle every call the same way. And imagine an employee that you don't have to, is never going to be sick. It's always going to show up. It's going to show up on time. It's going to be consistent, and it could pivot on a dime. So imagine, you've got a high volume call center that are taking queues of calls, and all of a sudden a policy changes.
Mm-hmm.
You now have to train all of those people to understand what the new policies are and ensure that they're enforcing it through compliance. With AI, compliance is almost a non-issue because with a simple stroke of some simple text and a prompt, you're now changing the entire policy across your assistant. So it's incredible opportunities for small businesses to just simply get their feet wet with having a 24-hour answering service.
Right.
And that is really the easiest way, but it gets so much more advanced than that. And that's why this is literally one of the hottest, exciting industries to be in right now. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about it, because businesses are adapting to it, but slowly, not fast enough. It's like, imagine not adopting the computer when it first came out because you're okay with paper and pen.
Right.
I mean, you've done it for so long, but once you realize the possibility of using AI to even just better yourself as an individual, it will transfer onto your business, and then you'll teach your staff, and then your key staff will understand the benefits of it and embrace it and exploit it to advance your business. Being technology complacent is a recipe for obsolescence.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. And from what we understand is that conversational AI really is transforming customer engagement. John, what challenges do businesses face when implementing AI for customer service?
Yeah, that's a big one because, it's funny. We have such incredible technologies that when you call it the first time, you're like blown away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's common that, people say, well, the AI technology, it sounds like a robot. And in many cases, you're usually right, except for breakthrough companies like my company that is offering some of the best voice technology that is on the market.
Right.
So it's a different experience than what you might have heard some of these ads that you see on Facebook and different places. This is a much more comprehensive type of AI that's conversational and embedded into your telephone service and your business, specifically through webhooks and different solutions. So one of the biggest challenges is actually quite surprising. It's the consumer shooting themselves in the foot.
Mm.
So what happens is they call an AI that does an absolutely perfect job. But what they hear is a slight hint that this might not be a human. And they stop the call. They freeze up and they say, "Oh, I want to talk to a human."
Right.
And of course, the AI is going to do its job. It's going to transform to a human if that's what's required, or maybe take a message, have somebody call back. But what they don't realize is that they're used to working with the technology that failed. You call an AI, we've all done it, you call an IVR, and it says, if you know the name of the person you're speaking with, and then you say it, and it's like, we don't know that person, hang up, call back,
Right.
and it's annoying. Now it's like you're talking to a real person. It can handle the call. If you're upset, it will handle you. If you have a problem, if you want to give it an answer or a response, it's going to contextually understand what your intention is and help you with that process and understand its role is to be a representative of your business and be able to support that call in a way that represents your business well. So the biggest hang up right now, in my experience, is the consumer. They are afraid of the tech because they're not used to it. In many cases, when they reach our AI, they've never had an experience with AI before. So
Right.
they're sort of shocked. And then we get the opposite experience where businesses that are cost conscious, they don't want to spend a lot of money, but they are investing into AI and they're concerned about every call because typically AI is billed by the call. So what happens is they share it or they implement it. And then one of their employees or somebody that calls them figures out, hey, I can call an AI and just chat with it.
Right.
So they call and not exploit it for benefit, but just it's fun. So they end up spending some time and sharing the number and then having people call. And usually that fizzles off after time because
Right.
they're not calling for business. They just want to talk to an AI.
Right.
But we have that on our website if you want to try it out.
That's amazing insight. I mean, it's amazing how conversational AI can be a game changer for small businesses, and if it is used right, of course. Seamless communication is critical. So explore telecom options that make business connections efficient and effective. But moving forward, John, let's discuss telecommunication because seamless communication is more critical than ever in any business.
Mm.
What are some common telecommunication challenges that businesses face, and how does Melo Technology address these?
Absolutely. So the same challenges that businesses have faced since I started my business in 2009 still exist today. I find the same thing with businesses that we're onboarding that I found when we started in 2009.
Mhm.
So one good example of that is their network. You see, internet service providers that set up small businesses only care about providing the service. What happens thereafter their router or modem is not their concern.
Mm.
Sure, they'll help you if you have a problem, but they're not thinking about the network that you're going to be running on the other side. They just want to provide the gateway. So typically, what they do is provide the lowest cost solution, providing you a modem and a router combination device, which is great for a small business if you just have some computers and Wi Fi that you want to use, no problem. Once you introduce voice over internet, it completely changes the game on the network. You see, if you have a problem with your internet with your regular computer, if you have a small problem, you don't realize it. It might get a little slow. Maybe there's a little bit of a hiccup and you just move on and don't even think about it. But if you experience that problem on a telephone call, you end up with what's called jitter. And in
Mhm.
that case, the symptom that you experience is with the phone. So the misconception is that, well, there's a problem with the phone. Well, yes, there is a problem with the phone, but that's the symptom of the problem. The symptom is that small businesses generally are not setting their networks up properly.
Mhm.
So, establishing a good network setup as a business should be a key priority with establishing a functional business. If you have a brick and mortar location, or even if you're working from home in your basement, it's important that you set up your network properly to be able to sustain your growth in your business.
Mhm.
So, if you want to add more people, if you want to introduce voice over internet, if you want to improve your Wi Fi, you have to start foundationally. And listening to the recommendations of your internet service provider is not sufficient because they only want to just charge you that monthly. They don't care if your phone call's crap. Believe me, we've called them. We try and work on it when they experience latency. The best case solution for any small business: invest a little bit of money, small office, maybe $1,500, set up your network properly with a router, a switch, some Wi Fi access points, you're off to the races.
Mhm.
What most people do is just buy the router and try and plug everything into it, maybe put a little switch or hub, and then regret it in the long run.
Mhm.
So we always focus on and have focused on the strongest part of our business is ensuring that when a customer boards, they have a service that is quality. So we try to do our best to educate them on their environment, assess their current situation, make solid recommendations, not to try and sell them hardware, but just to make sure that they enjoy our service.
Mhm. Well, that's amazing, and we love the emphasis on reliable telecom solutions, which are indeed quite essential. But are there any specific telecom innovations that you see becoming industry standards?
Absolutely. Insight. That's like one of the most key things right now,
Mhm.
analysis. And it's one of the biggest gray areas that telecom has faced for years and years. And that's what happened on that phone call. In many businesses, their employees spend time on the phone. They might spend maybe just an hour or 10 minutes, or they might spend all day long, an entire
Mhm.
5 hour shift, speaking on the phone. And unless that employee is taking notes about what happens after that call in detail, you never really know what happened. But
Right.
you are paying for that time. You're paying for the employee, you're paying for the actual conversation itself, and you're paying for it based off the reputation of the results of that call. So, what's happening now using different technologies and AI is that there are new technologies being implemented, like we're releasing, the ability to transcribe and analyze the telephone calls for analysis. So, understanding what happened on these calls. And then, based off understanding the context of the call, you can not just determine, okay, well, what happened on the call, but are there any actions that are required post call?
Mhm.
So in other words, if you have a phone call with somebody where you say you're going to open a support ticket, well, why can't the AI create the support ticket for you?
Right.
If you need to provide a support ticket reply to a ticket that already exists, maybe it could draft the support ticket for you. So, using the telephone in new ways is going to completely revolutionize telecommunications, in my opinion, because being able to listen to telephone calls was typically only reserved for enterprise companies. You would have to pay a lot of money to be able to tap into one of your employees' phone calls to listen to it live. That was a huge thing. It was a big thing in the tech space. Like, wow, we can listen to live calls. That's the insight we have. It's so little now when we think about the insight we have now. So now we get the transcription. We know if somebody's happy or if they're sad, if they were upset, if they misquote. We can manage compliance. We can extract data from calls and perform actions. So these are incredibly useful tools that are absolutely changing the landscape. And I think that call analysis and automation are going to be singly the biggest things to happen in our industry over the next few years.
Absolutely, and telecommunication is crucial for any for business resilience overall. And on that note, in 2024 alone, 81% of Canadian SMEs they are prioritizing advanced tech that focuses on telecom and cloud solutions, so which is big for small businesses. Leveraging AI can elevate your customer service. So please stay informed and consider AI tools to stand out. Thanks for tuning in. We've covered some of the transformative tech solutions with John and Melo Technology and what Melo Technology offer. So stay with us as we explore how AI and telecom are reshaping customer experiences right after this short break.
You dreamt big. You made the leap. You and your "we're not stopping at small" business. Doesn't matter you've never done it before. You unlock those problems. You adapt to change. You learn to evolve. You're pioneers in challenging times, finding your own frontiers. Wherever you e-commerce, UPS is with you. So nothing is going to hold you back.
4 billion people check their email every day. That's 4 billion missed opportunities if your message doesn't make it. To reach your customer's inbox, you need a winning strategy. And Constant Contact delivers. Literally, over 97% deliverability. Elevate your email game with easy-to-use templates, writing assistants powered by AI, and in-depth metrics. Ensuring your email is flawless, delivered, and read. Constant Contact delivers. Give it a try.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, we're in the business of you.
We're here to help you plug in,
connect and recharge,
make an impression,
and meet with confidence.
With 19 brands built for business,
your business gets even more rewarding.
With an award-winning loyalty program at 6,000 IHG hotels and resorts worldwide.
Hi, and welcome back. We're here with John Meloche of Melo Technology, exploring how tech is transforming business. Before the break, we discussed conversational AI. Now let's dive into the future trends in telecommunications and AI for Canadian businesses. But next, John, let's focus on Melo Technology's innovation in AI tools. AI is at the core of every single business, and at Melo, Melo Technology's recent innovations also incorporates a lot of AI. Could you tell us about your recent launch of Intelligent Call Recap and how it's helping your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not just helping our clients, it's helping us.
Right.
In fact, this was a solution that was originally implemented for me to be able to help administer our own support and sales services over our own customers. So we used it before we even offered it, interesting enough. So I am fully in tune with the value of having this type of insight on phone calls. So some of the challenges that Intelligent Call Recap will solve are the insight. What happened on support calls or what happened on sales calls? Why weren't they successful on that sale? Did they achieve 3 objection handles? Or when they received the call, did the customer sound upset? And if they sounded upset, is that going to be addressed? A lot of the time people spend time on a phone call that may achieve different topics. Maybe they're talking about a support problem, but then they get onto a sales opportunity. And then maybe they move on to a complaint. So there are 3 different issues on that call, but the person ending the call is maybe only focused on one. So who's following up on the other 2 issues?
Right.
So this is certainly going to, enhance the customer experience and satisfaction. And, it's sort of out in the wild. It's obtainable right now for businesses, but it's very slowly being adopted. And my objective is to try and accelerate that, but with the high focus or with a primary focus on small, medium-sized business, not enterprise. Enterprises had this type of technology for a long time, and I really want to bring this to entrepreneurs, small businesses, the ones that would not otherwise have it, and make it attainable and cost-effective.
No, this is incredibly helpful for SMB business owners. I mean, AI applications like these are making a big impact for small businesses as well. What feedback have you received from clients who implemented this technology, John?
It's interesting the response that I get because everybody loves it. Like when I show them the first time, if you've used GPT before, the first time you ever use it and figure out what it is a little bit, you're blown away. It's one of those things, right? Like you use it and you can't get off it for a little while. It's the same thing we experience with the intelligent call recap. So what I've been doing is we set up these 45-minute training sessions with our existing clients because this is a service that we just enable for them. They don't have to do anything. We just turn it on. So I schedule these meetings with our clients that I think would benefit from this the most. And I give them a quick demo. And I just, go to their phone call and be like, recap and do a question against the call to do a recap. And they're stunned. Like they're shocked. They're like, well, I just recapped a 45-minute phone call in one question, summarized this phone call in one sentence. And sure enough, and it blows their mind. And what happens is it becomes then an education process because it's like, well, how did it do this? And how do I get a better answer? So then it becomes, well, we have to teach you how to prompt and, understanding that what you put into the question is what you get out of it. So it's actually really exciting because what they do is they'll sit there for hours. Like this is the biggest time killer initially because you're just so curious. And what happens is I end up getting so many questions. They're like, what do you think about this prompt? What should I do here? And then, it really becomes an education thing from that point. And they are just so curious and interested. And we watch an organization that has, we see their usage report and we'll show the initial adoption when I do the demo and we see a little spike and then it goes down. And then we'll see a spike again when they start sharing it with their staff. And then it becomes like everybody's using it. Why wouldn't you? If you could enable every time you had a phone call, that after that phone call happened, you received an email with a summary of that phone call, and depending on where that call came from, might give you an automated draft support ticket reply for the call that you just had. So you don't have to take a note. It can automatically integrate to your software. And now you're more connected and understood about what you're doing yourself, every day, all day.
That's incredible. I mean, I can't wait to try it myself because I do get, a bunch of calls all day. But it's really inspiring to see such targeted AI applications that are in the market. John, our last topic centers on technology's future impact. Looking ahead, tech's potential to drive growth is immense. From what we've discussed today, that is the proof of it. What future trends do you think will follow or will redefine how Canadian businesses operate?
Well, I think what's going to happen is going to be very appealing for some and not appealing to others. And it's going to be all over the spectrum of people. So some entrepreneurs are going to adopt to this technology and they're going to embrace it fully. And they're going to try and capitalize on it as much as possible, not just by making money, but by streamlining their existing business processes and making their business more efficient and effective. That's the easiest thing that you can do with this technology. On the other side of things, there are businesses that see the pitfalls of this potential situation, like the big enterprise corporations like Walmart and Costco are looking at this like, how can we get rid of employees, right? Whereas the small business and entrepreneurs are not looking like, I don't want to get rid of a single employee in my company with AI. That's not my intention. What I want to do is enable them. I want to enable them to enhance the experience. Now, over time, is that going to prevent me from having to expand and inflate my workforce? Absolutely. Is it going to immediately, for me, put me in a position where I'm going to start laying people off? Absolutely not. I see no future for that because the company is still growing. For a company that's stagnant, they might have a different opinion on that. They might be like, hey, you know what? With a little bit of code and this AI, I might be able to actually completely, manage my workforce in a different way. And that's the unfortunate reality. And this is cat's out of the bag, and my recommendation for employees would be to adopt the technology. Don't be afraid to put it on your resume that you know how to use GPT. If you apply to me and you say that you use GPT or AI, that is going to the top of the pile. And that's for any businesses out there. So the businesses need people interested in this technology, not afraid of it. Wow. So I suggest from business standpoint, from individual consumer standpoint, for even for yourself, to embrace this technology however you can. Don't be afraid of it. Get involved with it. Share it with your friends. And, let's see what it'll do to our industries.
That is great. I mean, as technology continues to transform, it's insights like these that are invaluable for businesses. Now, before we wrap up, John, what advice would you give to businesses that are preparing for these technological shifts?
Well, besides reaching out to me, no, I would suggest looking at it from an open mind. Don't be afraid to ask silly questions because they're all silly at first. Like imagine some of the questions you first asked GPT initially, right? So my suggestion for you is to adopt technologies. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be complacent because you will become obsolete.
Thank you so much, John. I mean, it's been a great pleasure having you on the podcast, and it's great to hear about Melo's technology and what's ahead, and what can we expect in the coming future. But again, thank you so much for sharing your journey and your expertise with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in this insightful discussion with John Meloche. We explore tech trends, reshaping business operations. A big thanks to him as well as to our partners, RBC, UPS, Constant Contact, IHG, and Google. For more business insights, visit our website, CanadianSME.ca, and subscribe to the Canadian SME Small Business Magazine. See you next time.